Hi everyone, welcome to class. My name's Claire and today I'm taking you through a 45-minute yin flow practice. So I thought today we'd have a bit of a focus on opening up our chest and our shoulders, a bit of a heart space or anahata chakra focus. And all you'll need is a bolster or a couple of pillows piled up on each other and a couple of blocks, or you can use a pile of books instead. So let's start on our back in Supta Baddha Konasana. So grab your bolster or your pillows, just pop it to the top of your mat, and we'll come and lay down on top. Shuffle the heels up towards the torso, open the knees wide, and we'll come and lay back over the top with our palms facing the ceiling. And we'll close our eyes, leave behind any outside thoughts, and start to draw our attention inwards, just noticing how we're feeling in our body today. Notice where there's areas of resistance or gripping. Notice the areas that feel a sense of comfort and ease. And start to pay particular attention to the areas that are holding on or gripping, and see if you can use your internal focus to start smoothing some of that out. Trying to allow every tiny little muscle in the body to relax into stillness. We'll pay particular attention to the area around the chest and the shoulders. You just start to feel how your shoulders are peeling back away from the center of the heart, melting down towards the floor on either side of the bolster. Notice the openness of the chest in this position. Start to deepen your breath, lengthening out the inhales and the exhales. And with each long exhalation, feel as though the shoulders are melting back down towards the floor. So inhale, visualize energy and vitality moving into the body with the breath. And exhale. Imagine that the tension's melting away from the shoulder joints and the shoulders are peeling back and melting down towards the floor. We'll stay with this visualization for a couple more moments. And maybe you'd like to start extending out the exhalation. If you're breathing in for 1, 2, 3, 4, you might like to breathe out for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And choose to count that out in your mind, or just arrive at a breath where the inhale is nice and deep, but the exhale is a little longer. And keep visualizing any tension that you're feeling through the shoulders and the neck melting away in that exhale moment. And that's creating this feeling of expansiveness and lightness through the chest and the heart. With the next breath, you might like to start doubling the length of the inhale. So if you were breathing in for 4 counts, you'd now be breathing out for 8 counts. And again, you can choose to count that out in your mind, or just try and arrive at a breath where the inhale is deep, or at least deeper than your usual breath, and the exhale is double that length. And if that feels a little bit too strained, just come back to the breath that feels comfortable for you. Keep your focus on this melting back of the shoulders with that long exhalation. And the melting back of the shoulders is creating this sense of openness and lightness through the chest and shoulders, through the heart. So you want to be allowing the belly to rise and fall with the breath so that we're doing diaphragmic breathing. And also pay attention to how the breath moves the chest. With the next breath, we'll start to match the length of the inhales and the exhales again. And then start to wiggle the fingertips and toes. And then we'll scoop up the elbows, bring the arms up over the head. So let the arms drop back over the head and then slowly release the hands, flip the palms up to the ceiling. Keep the elbows bent at a right angle and just slowly keeping the arms heavy so you're feeling the chest and the shoulder joints opening up. The arms slowly circle down until your elbows meet the floor. So you're keeping the elbows at a right angle, and once the elbows hit the floor, reverse that action, keeping the arms heavy, and we'll just slowly start to circle the arms up over the head. And you might like to catch the hands together, let the arms drop. And we go a couple more times, keeping the arms heavy, just exploring our full range of motion here. Allowing the gravity to pull the arms down towards the floor to create more expansiveness and openness through the chest area. Once the elbows hit the floor, that's when we reverse the action. And let's do one more round. If that's feeling a little bit too intense, you can just pause at a spot that feels a little bit more comfortable for you. But otherwise, once the elbows hit the floor, you reverse the action again. And once the hands catch each other over the head, just let the arms drop down, and we'll hold in stillness for 3 deep breaths. And lastly, inhale. Exhale completely. And then releasing the arms. Circle the arms down, elbows touch the floor, but this time the arms fold down by the side. And we'll just slowly make our way over to our right side, just moving really, really, really slowly. And then prop ourselves up so that we can get rid of the props underneath us, and we'll start on our belly today. In Sphinx pose. So make sure the elbows are underneath the shoulders, the forearms are in a parallel line, and the middle finger is facing directly forward with the fingers planting down into the floor. From here, start to draw the shoulders back and down, so we find that expansiveness through the chest again. Feel length in the neck as the scapular bones slide down the back. And we'll take a deep inhale. Exhale, drop the chin down to the chest, keeping that expansive openness through the chest. Right ear to right shoulder. Lengthen the neck as we lift the head up. Left ear to left shoulder. And chin to chest. Reverse the circles. And the whole time we're trying to maintain this sense of expansiveness and openness through the chest. Reverse the direction. And next time the head comes up through the center, draw the shoulders back and down. Gently squeeze in the glutes. Lengthen through the neck. So we're actually holding everything in more of a yang way. Deep inhale. And exhale, let the elbows slide up and we'll release everything down to the floor. So we'll bring our left elbow down, so the forearm's flat on the floor. The right hand comes next to the chest in a bit of a push-up kind of position. We'll tuck the toes under. See if you can hoist the left knee on top of the left elbow. So use the toes tucking under for a little bit of a leverage. Hoist it up. And you sort of feel like you're a bit of a gecko or a lizard on the floor. So first we'll come into a more moving, active version. We'll look to the right, press into our right hand and start to peel the right shoulder up towards the ceiling. So we're sort of twisting through the spine. Activate through your core. Maybe you can press into the hands and just get a slight little lift through the torso. And exhale, look to the left and collapse into the floor. So you inhale, look to the right, press into the right hand. And see if you can get a slight little lift through the right side of the body. And exhale, looking to the left and release. One last round. Pressing into the right hand, so if you can peel the right hip up. Activate through the core. Slight little lift through the body. And exhale, looking to the left, collapsing into the floor. You can let that left knee slide down a little bit, then we'll come into a more passive version, right arm coming down by the side. And we'll just hold for a few breaths, releasing into the floor. Tune into any new sensations, any building warmth. And then we'll look forward, scoop the right arm up over the head, circle it around, and we're going to bring our hands on top of each other, swivel the forearms so they're in a straight line, and we'll just rest our head on top. Release the right toe, start to let the left leg slide out to the side a bit more, so you're sort of flattening and releasing into the floor. And we'll hold this now as more of a, well, not hold, but release into the floor, so we're finding more of a yin aspect of our practice. Every muscle is completely relaxed. Take a moment to reconnect with your breath. And you might be feeling quite passive, but just tune into the gentle opening through the left hip joint. We'll start to meditate on the breath. As you inhale, visualize energy and vitality moving down into the lungs. As you exhale, feel as though you're just melting into the floor. Any bits of tension that you're noticing, especially through the left hip joint, is just melting away. And with each exhale, you're sort of flattening into the floor a little bit, maybe letting that left leg slide out. You get a little bit more of a passive opening through the left hip. So we have about 10 more breaths from here. Every time the mind starts to wander off somewhere else, just keep catching yourself and keep coming back. This awareness of the breath and the visualization of the inhale, bringing energy and vitality into the body. And the exhale, allow the body to melt into the floor and release a little bit more in that moment. Couple more breaths here. Last deep inhale. And as you exhale, start to slide the left leg back, press down into your hands, coming back to the center through Sphinx. We'll pause there for a moment, just tuning into any subtle changes, any new sensations. Notice any subtle differences between the two sides of the body. Maybe your left and your right hip is feeling a little bit different. And then we'll come over to the other side, sliding onto the belly. The right elbow comes down with the forearm flat on the floor. The left hand now comes to that sort of push-up position with the left hand's next to the chest with the elbow lifted. So from here we tuck the toes under and we hoist the right knee on top of the right elbow. Okay, so from here, press into the left hand. See if you can peel the left side of the body away from the floor so it becomes really active. You might be able to get a little bit of a lift. And exhale, looking to the right, releasing into the floor. Inhale, pressing into the left hand. See if you can get a bit of a lift. Peel the left side of the body away from the floor. And exhale, looking to the right. One last round, pushing, lifting the left side of the body away from the floor. And exhale, looking to the right. And then we'll just let that right leg slide down and flatten into the floor. Pause there for a couple of moments. And then when you're ready, the left hand can swipe around, stack the forearms on top of each other. And you can look over to the left or to the right. So just let everything become passive now. Release the left toe. You can slide the right leg out to the side and flatten down through the hips. And resting your ear comfortably on your hands. And we'll stay here for a few minutes. Come back to that meditation on the breath. Every inhale, visualize energy and vitality moving into the body. Every exhale, feel as though you're melting further down into the floor and the body flattens out just a little bit more. And every time the mind wanders off somewhere, just keep catching yourself, coming back to this awareness of the breath. Keep your attention on the right hip. And even though it might be quite subtle for you, might not be, but even if it's subtle, be aware of this external rotation. And we'll stay for about 10 more deep breaths. And arriving at one last breath here. And as you exhale, start to slide that right leg down, press into the forearms and make your way to the center to Sphinx pose. Let the legs relax completely for a moment. And then when you're ready, hands come back next to the chest. Let's come onto all fours. Stacking the shoulders over the wrists. Inhale, head and tail float up to the ceiling. Exhale, round through the back, pull up the sides, moving into cat. Imagine a string attached to your upper back and it starts to pull the back forward. And lean over the fingertips so we're weight bearing down through our wrists a little bit. And as we move the spine back, arching into a cow position, pressing into the hands, we'll move the hips all the way back down to the hips. Start to lower through the chest. The spine starts to curve the other way. We come up through cat position, but we're flowing the chest forward to weight bear down through the wrists. And then the spine unravels. And then as we move the spine back, we're pulling the belly button down to the floor, arching the back as we move the hips down towards the heels. Press into the hands to press the hips down as far as they will go. And then we keep repelling a couple more times. And then coming back to the center, walk the hands forward slightly, start to draw the elbows back, lower down onto our belly. And then let's bring the right arm straight out, straight line from the shoulder. Our left hand is coming next to the chest. Tuck the toes under and then bend the left knee. And then we press into the left hand so we can roll onto our right side. Start to swivel the left knee up towards the ceiling and place that foot on the floor. So just take this as far as what feels comfortable for you. Make sure that you've got one of your blocks handy or just one cushion or pillow because you can pop that underneath your head. If you can't swivel the knee all the way up to the ceiling, you can just reach this leg back. Or you could even pop a bolster underneath it for a little bit of support. So play around, see what feels good for you. But the focus is obviously on our right shoulder, the right side of our chest. And we're just using this left hand here in front of us as leverage just to find that perfect point. And this leg reaching back, doesn't matter too much what it's doing because that's just acting as a little counterweight to pull us over as well. So even if you're just reaching that leg back or you're swiveling that knee up to the ceiling and peeling it back, it doesn't matter too much. So we'll stay here for a few minutes as well, so no need to push towards an edge. Just settle into it nice and slowly. Find the depth in your breath. If you feel comfortable here and you feel like you're not going to fall back forward onto your belly, you can wrap this left arm around behind the back and plant a hand down into the floor or the fingers. And then when you're ready, we'll close our eyes. Slowly move towards a comfortable edge. Breathing deeply. And we'll keep our awareness on that right shoulder joint and the right side of the chest. And come back to a little meditation where on the inhale we're visualizing energy and vitality moving into the body with the breath. And that energy and vitality travels all the way out to the right shoulder. And then as we exhale, visualize that tension melting away. So if we're talking about the meridian system, the heart and lung meridian lines run through our shoulders, down the arms. So when we're doing a posture like this that helps to open up the shoulder joints, we're helping to strengthen and tone and open up those meridian lines, improving the health of our heart and lungs. Let's stay here for 10 more breaths. And breathing in and exhale, just very, very, very slowly come out of it onto your belly. We'll get rid of the block and just flip the head the other way, bring the arms down by the side and just let the whole body relax there for a couple of moments as you feel that network of soft tissue melting back into place, resetting in the joint. And then once everything is feeling back to normal, we're going to swipe the right arm over the head and bring it across in a straight line directly underneath our body. You might need to shuffle the torso or the body up the mat a little bit. And then bring the left arm on top and then bend the elbow to keep the arm in place. Try and square your chest down over the arm until you feel that joint opening in the opposite direction, and then we'll hook the chin over the right shoulder. And let's just stay here for 10 deep breaths. Just a couple more breaths from here. And then when you're ready, unravel the left arm. The right arm swipes up over the head, down by the side. And then we come to the other side. Left arm reaches out, so it's in a horizontal line from the shoulder. The right hand comes next to the chest so that we've got leverage to control ourselves as we roll over onto the left side. The right toe points up, and then we press into our right hand. Just slowly move over onto our back to our edge. So even if you're sort of more on your belly, that's completely fine. That's why the right hand's there, so that we've got control to move to a point where the opening feels deep, but not like it's too much. This leg can either reach back, or you can bring the sole of the foot to the floor and the knee can swivel up if that feels comfortable for you. And you can bring this arm behind to the floor if you like, or just keep the hand in front of you for a bit of support and control. So drop back into your deeper breath. And we'll come back to that visualization of, as the inhale comes into the body, into the lungs, it brings this sense of vitality and energy that's moving down to the left shoulder. And as you exhale, the tension there is melting away from the body. And ideally you'd have a block underneath your head as well. That is completely okay to hold the head there as well. It's just a bit more comfortable when you have that support underneath the head. Let's hold for about 10 more breaths. Two more breaths from here. One more breath. And just very, very, very slowly, we'll make our way back onto the belly. Bring the arm down by the side for a moment, and we'll look the head in the opposite direction. Get rid of any props and just have a little rest for a moment as you tune into the sensations. As that network of soft tissue melts back into place for that reset. And then when you feel ready, the left arm swipes over, position it so that it's in a horizontal line moving it the other way. You might want to sort of shuffle up a little bit so that you can find this position where the chest is like coming down directly over the left arm. So there's this sense that the shoulder joint is opening up the other way. And then the right arm comes on top and we bring the elbow down just to keep that left arm in place. We hook the head over the left shoulder and we just rest here for about 10 deep breaths. One more breath from here. And slide the right arm down so we can unravel this left arm. And then the right arm comes back out to the side, left hand next to the chest, left toes point up towards the ceiling. We roll onto our right side, back into open wing. And then we're just going to move with this a little bit. So then we roll onto our belly. Swap the hands over, swap the legs over, then we press into the right hand to come over to the other side. Come onto the belly, swap the arms over, swap the legs over, then we press into our left hand so the left knee can spiral back. And then come onto the belly, swap the legs over, swap the arms over, and then we come over to the other side. So if you like, you can take that quite slow just to navigate the movement. If you've got that, you can start to build up a bit of momentum. Might need to move up my mat a little bit. And then coming to the center, pressing into the hands to come up, and we'll grab onto our blocks. So just bring them about shoulder width apart. We'll open the knees out and touch the toes together. And then we're going to come forward, bring the blocks forward a little bit so that when you fold forward, you can bring the elbows on top of the block. Bring the palms together and just see if you can scoop your head through the arms so you can bring your thumbs to the middle back. So when you come down, you might find that you need to just adjust the position of the blocks, maybe bring them a little bit wider, because when you come down, you want to feel like the blocks are really, really stable and they're going to support you as you let the chest pour down to the floor. So once you've got the right position, just stay there, connecting in with the breath. I'm not going to stay there with you because you won't be able to hear me as well with the mic being muffled. Just stay where you are, and with each exhale, just feel as though the chest is pouring down to the floor. And if it gets a little bit too intense at all, you're quite welcome to get rid of the blocks and just come into a child's pose with wide knees and just let the heart melt towards the floor this way instead. So every inhale you take, visualize this sense of energy and vitality moving into the lungs. Every exhale you take, allow the chest to melt further down towards the floor. Inhale, visualize energy and vitality moving into the lungs, breathing deeply. And exhale, chest melts down towards the floor. Tuning into this expansiveness, this openness through the chest and heart. And stay there for about 5 more breaths. And then when you're ready, pressing down into the arms so that you can slowly lift the torso up. Walk the hands back, just remove the blocks so that they're out of the way. And let's switch over so that we're coming onto our back. And the arms come out to the side, keep the knees bent. And we'll just drop the knees over to the left, look the head to the right and melt into the floor here for 5 deep breaths. Let the legs really, really relax. Feel the releasing sensation through the lower back. When you're ready, drawing the knees up to the center and flopping them over to the right as the head looks to the left. Melt into the floor, tune into the release through the lower back. And then knees coming to the center, hug them in for a moment. Take a little rock from side to side. And then we come to rest in Shavasana. Or you settle completely, give the whole body a deep squeeze, clenching everything in for a moment. And then let it release. We'll start to scan through our body just to notice how we're feeling now in this moment. Start to pay particular attention to any subtle changes through the chest and the shoulders. Notice the freedom in the shoulder joints. Notice if the shoulders melting back into the floor comfortably, and there's this sense of expansiveness through the heart and chest. A sort of lightness. Couple more deep breaths before you let the breath settle back into your natural everyday breath. And when you're ready, you can start to move the fingertips and toes and just shift that internal focus outwards and start to sense the outside day. Fold the legs in, roll onto the right side, and just make your way to come and sit. Thank you so much for coming to practice with me, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you're feeling a little bit more open through the upper body as you come and stand. And I look forward to seeing you all next time. Have a beautiful day. Bye.